Story 1. I faced a difficult situation. Because of infidelity, left my fiance after a stormy night in a burst of sincerity and remorse. I confess that just before that I had slept with my boss at work. I dated a great guy for a long time. We were great friends at first, and then we gradually developed a serious relationship that was on its way to marriage. He was an IT guy, wanted a family and was a bit too domestic. Dutifully courted, drove to work and met from work. In the meantime, Marina considered her casual correspondence with her elderly and long-married boss as a non-binding flirtation. At first we just corresponded, talking about various trifles. Then we started joking about ex, relationships, lovers and so on. I thought we were laughing, that it was just an excuse to distract myself from the boredom of work. Then suddenly I needed to go out of town on business with him. The thought crept into my head, but I thought, no, he doesn't look like a man who'd cheat on his wife with a subordinate to loaf for him. And he suddenly stopped the car at the curb, turned round and said, "We've obviously forgotten something. That's right, sex." For the first few seconds, I was scared. But then I just let my feelings come out. I like the man, he likes me, why not? Plus, I figured it would only be a one-time thing. And it was so weird to drive back pretending like nothing had happened. We went back to the office. An hour later my fiancé picked me up from work. We went for a walk, had dinner, and then we had a very stormy night of lovemaking. But what happened the next day, I remembered as some kind of moral and ethical nightmare. In the morning I woke up in my fiance's flat, had breakfast. He took me to work. Somewhere around lunchtime I realized I was a bitch. That I'd slept with two people in one day, to distract myself. I decided to take it easy after work and went shopping. My fiancé realized from my texts that I was sick. He arrived. We walked around the shopping center. I decided to tell him everything. I confessed everything to him straight up. He listened to me. He said he expected something like that I wasn't the kind of person to build a serious relationship with, and that I'd broken his heart. He drove me home, and we never spoke again. What do you mean? We didn't talk. I tried to talk, and he cut me off. He had nothing to talk to me about. Marina says that a few weeks after this was in a severe depression, and still believes that she did wrong and simply confused in life and relationships. The worst thing is that when you cheat, as if it burns from the inside. Even now I feel that I am about to cry. I was shaking for a long time after all this. I couldn't stand it and shared it with my mom. She too said that it was dirty, that she wouldn't do that. But she's told me before that I spread my legs too fast. Maybe she's right. I still sleep with my boss from time to time.
Comment.
I think you disrespected your boyfriend. I know you realized what you did, but it was too late. The guy's heart was broken. Reading the text, I think you're different people. So maybe it's for the best that you broke up now. About you getting into bed quickly, I think you should think about what you want. Decide for yourself and live a life that is comfortable for you. Story 2. My 25F boyfriend to 5M of 12 years has told me he's had a baby. How can I get over it? I have been with my boyfriend since we were both 13. And I always thought we would be together forever. I've only slept with him. He's the only boyfriend I've ever had. I've given up so much for him. I didn't follow my chosen career and go to university, because it would have meant moving away from him. I gave up the chance to move abroad with my family and now I don't have any family left in this country. I gave up traveling and going out with friends. In what should have been the best years of my life, we own a house together. We split the mortgage, but I put down the full 10K deposit. As I am in a better financial position than him, I always imagined growing old with him, spending my life with him, having children with him. We broke up for a few weeks in December. Early January, after an argument, he went out and slept with someone else, but didn't tell me. We just got back together and nothing was said. Yesterday he spoke to me very upset and told me that in September, he'd had a baby girl with a woman he'd had a one-night stand with. I asked him why he hadn't told me before, and he said it was because he doubted it was his child and he wanted to block it out. So he ignored the girl, but the girl contacted his mom, and his mom had a grandparent DNA test done and proved she was the grandmother. Since then his mom has been arguing with him about being involved, as she sees the baby every weekend and told him he had to tell me. He only told me because his mom said she would if he didn't. I don't know what to do. The boyfriend cries and says he's trapped. That the girl told him she was on the pill and allergic to condoms. He says he's not ready and he doesn't want to lose me. And he's threatening to kill himself if I leave him. I don't know what to do. Do I forget the last 12 years and everything I've ever known and move on? Or do I forgive him and try to make this work? I sent the girl a message, probably against my better judgment, asking how we could move on and sending her my best wishes. She just said she didn't care if he wanted to be involved or not, and that the doors were open but she was glad his family were involved. Then she blocked me. I don't want a stepchild at all. I don't even want a child of my own for at least 5 years. I asked him how we would move on from this, and he said we'll just pretend the child doesn't exist and go on with our lives, which disgusted me because I never thought he was the type of coward to abandon an innocent child. Then, I don't want to be seen as enabling him to do this. I really believe that even if I was out of his life, he wouldn't see the child, and if we were still together in this situation, I would be seen as the evil one and as if I somehow condoned his actions. I had imagined him as a strong man of good character, and the fact that he doesn't want to have anything to do with the child, and keeps referring to the baby as it, and has even blocked his mother from anything, because she sees the baby and he doesn't want her to makes me see him in a different, cowardly light and gives me the creeps. If he told me, when he found out that he'd got a girl pregnant, that they needed DNA, then got DNA when the baby was born and stuck by the kid, I don't think I'd even be asking this question. I'd be upset and not want to be a stepparent. And I doubt I'd be involved for a few years, but I have supported him and accepted his mistake. The way he went about it ruined everything. If he really loved and cared for me, he would have told me from day one.
First comment.
You make him leave. You go back to university and get your degree and get back in touch with your family. If the child was not his, he would have never told you. What happens the next time you have a break? Is he gonna sleep with someone else without protection? Do not let his tears fool you. He is now father whether he wants to be or not. Is this the kind of man you want to be with? One who shirks his responsibilities because he's not ready. He should have thought of that when he didn't use a condom. You are still young. Buy him out of the house or sell it. Don't stick with this deadbeat.
Second comment.
The best years are still ahead of you. You can still go knock out an education before you're 30. You do need to move on, and I'd highly recommend some therapy. Communicate his threats of suicide to his mother and completely remove him from your life. He wasn't trapped, choices were made, and they have consequences. He didn't tell you because he knew he was wrong from the start, and if he was wrong then, what does that make him now? That he's hidden this from you and has probably continued to lie about details of the situation. Get safe, love yourself, do not stay with him. You'd be teaching him all those actions are okay in your relationship and disrespecting yourself and the happy life you could have.